Let's get back to Canberra now and the leadership challenge against Sussan Lee that will be contested tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm joined by Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, Liberal Senator from the Northern Territory. Good to talk to you again, Jacinta. You've made it very clear that you want a change. Last time Angus Taylor went for the leadership, you were his running mate for the deputy's position. Will the deputy's position be up for grabs this time, and will you put your hand up?
Oh, look, I think there are a few that have indicated that they will be putting their hand up for the deputy position, and no, I won't be one of those people this time around. Yeah, so there's been no formal announcement, but it seems like there will be a new deputy, that Ted O'Brien will be challenged. The other name that I floated early in the week and I've heard a bit of talk about is your Senate colleague, Jane Hume from Victoria. Do you think that that would be a good combination? Angus Taylor from the Conservatives in New South Wales and Jane Hume, ostensibly a moderate, from Victoria. Yeah, look, I mean, Jane's definitely one of those individuals that has put her name up for consideration, and there are a number of others, obviously, and, you know, just hearing from some of them about, you know, why they want to run for deputy, obviously, and so I suppose that's going to be the difficult decision to make tomorrow as to who we decide to put forward. You know, who we choose as a deputy. I'm just, I suppose, really pleased that we're having the opportunity now to get behind Angus for the leadership. I think
looks like he's got the numbers, doesn't it?
That we establish that.
It looks like he's got the numbers, doesn't it?
I don't think. Yeah, look, I don't think he would have gone out to do this without feeling confident that he has the numbers.
Now, one of the points I was just discussing with a mate of mine, well, he's actually a mutual friend, Paul Murray. I was just having a chat off here with him. The deal here, presumably, is not just that the party gets a new leader in Angus Taylor, as significant as that is, but I'm presuming he brings with him to the front bench both yourself and Andrew Hastie, and someone like James Patterson gets a more prominent role. I think if this plays out correctly, in the next week you would have a new leader, but also a much stronger front bench. Do you expect to be part of that?
Oh, look, I guess we'll wait and see after the leadership spill itself. I know that people like Andrew Hastie, certainly Sarah Henderson and myself have been champing at the bit to get out there and be in a stronger position to be able to serve in opposition for the betterment of this country. And, you know, what we've seen so far in the last few months is that we haven't been able to share any sort of policy positions with the Australian people and really, you know, shove our flag in the ground and say this is what we stand for and this is how we are going to fight to improve this country and hold this government to account. Look, I would be truly honoured and very privileged to be able to be in such a position like that again if that were to eventuate. But new leadership is what is needed. You know, we need to rally the troops. We need to have a sense of, you know, feeling like we've got some chutzpah, I suppose.
Absolutely.
To get out there and fight once more. And there are many of us who are just waiting to get out there and to be able to do that and execute that argument and do what we know how to do best, which is to hold this government to account.
Yeah, there's too many of you who've been either on the bench or in the Bs. You make a good point. Sarah Henderson's another good one. Be good to have her in education or communications. Let me just put you what one of your colleagues who's standing by Sussan Lee has had to say.
I think that we need to give Sussan Lee time. I think, unfortunately, people have been trying to undermine Sussan from day one. You know, we need to get back to work.
Is Andrew Wallace right in any of that, Jacinta?
No, I think, you know, Sussan as a leader, while she's in a very difficult position, has, as I believe, had ample opportunity to be able to address some of the issues that we've been confronted with, including, you know, we really had to push for our position on net zero. I think it could have been done sooner than when we reached it eventually. And like I said, we have no other policy positions. And look, this argument about, you know, gender and gender quotas, I will add that some of my colleagues, I suppose, should remember that they didn't have any qualms in throwing under the bus their first Indigenous female shadow defence personnel and defence industry representative. So I think that is a moot point, and it's all about competency.
Yeah, indeed. They weren't shedding tears over the demise that came your way. Thanks for joining us, Jacinta. Good luck tomorrow. Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. I mean, this is the big change here. Don't forget this. Don't think about this as just Sussan Lee out, Angus Taylor in, as significant as that is. But you're talking about probably Andrew Hastie into defence or somewhere on the front bench. You're talking about Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. I know who you love, and that's why, getting her back into a front bench position. Sarah Henderson, people like James Patterson being used in more prominent roles. I think he really could enliven the place. We'll see what happens.